Hey, what up, everybody? Steve Breach coming to you. Let's talk some Slammiversary, some good old TNA. Honestly, I was all fired up for this pay-per-view. If you would ask me 3 weeks ago, I think Slammiversary is going to be. I thought it was going to be a damn good show on paper. I thought they had a whole bunch of feuds that were going together. Maybe this whole thing TNA's doing, where they're doing the less of the pay-per-views, and you have longer time to build things to get from one point to another point. I mean, it's been a good while since the last real pay-per-view that they've done. They did a few pay-per-views like Joker's Wild and everything like that, but honestly, at the end of the day, nobody's really watching those. And the impacts up to 3 weeks ago were excellent. Awesome builds. Real good storylines and reveals and everything like that to get you to the place where you want to watch the pay-per-view when it comes along. But I don't know really what happened. The last 3 weeks, just I wasn't with it. Honestly, I think that last week's, the last build-up push show to get you to Slammiversary was probably one of the worst impacts I've seen in a good while. The whole, what was it? It was Sting and Joseph Park going up against the Dudley Boyz, Team 3D. And the match just seemed to go on forever, and it just seemed like I just didn't care at all. It was horrible. And the way they brought back Jeff Hardy, just by revealing his name, it would have been much better if you would have had a reveal of Jeff Hardy, of him breaking through the crowd, to have him come out and save Dixie. And instead, like, you have all of Ace and Eights, circling in like vultures to kill Dixie Carter, and only Magnus and Samoa Joe come out to make the save. It was dumb because all of Ace and Eights ran off like they were scared of, to fight Magnus and Samoa Joe. But somehow at the pay-per-view, when they have those two guys and Jeff Hardy on the same team to come out and fight these three guys, they'll be ready to fight. They didn't want to fight 3-on-2, but 3-on-3, like, hey, let's get this done. Let's have a fight. I don't know. The whole show, to me, just didn't seem like it really worked. AJ Styles is the constant one thing that stays relevant in there. I don't really know. It's funny. When you buy your WrestleMania tickets, you're like, yeah, I'm going to WrestleMania. You post your video up and you're all fired up. About my tickets for Bound for Glory, about my package with my buddy Mario, who goes to a lot of shows. So that will be what we will be doing in October. Got the front row seats, and it'll be fun. Let's start off with this whole pay-per-view. We'll work it down. We'll start at the main event and work our way down, just in case you don't know what's going on, but you only care about like the main event stuff. It always seems with TNA, I always go that way. WWE always give you like the undercard and go up, but whatever. Bully Ray versus Sting. This is really, really interesting to me. You got, if Sting loses, he can no longer wrestle for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship. He doesn't have to retire. He can always still wrestle for TNA, but he can't have a title match, which is a little bit of a weird stipulation for you. I think I know what I would do if I was booking this, because there's no way in the world I'm going to have Sting win this championship. There's no way I think that they could make us care about us getting to Bound for Glory. I know they have to start the Bound for Glory series to see who the number one contender is going to be. They've talked about it, but they haven't put the actions into place to start the tournament up at all. I thought that the first year was good, but it was a little bit screwy at the end. Like when they started to roll it out, it looked like it made a whole lot of sense, and at the end, it made no sense at all what was going on. Last year, they stuck to their guns. They ran all the way through it, and I thought it was really, really good, really awesome, the way it panned out. Hopefully this year they can stick to it and really work the kinks out and really get this done. But honestly, Bully Ray has to win this match. But with how much the Hogans are involved in all this and everything else like that, I think that Hulk Hogan has to get involved in this match. I think Hulk Hogan is going to be the one guy that makes Sting lose this match. I think that he's going to accidentally cost Sting the match. It's going to be like, holy shit, what the hell happened sort of thing. And Bully Ray and the Ace and Eights will, in the pay-per-view, sort of laughing in the faces of TNA. Sting's going to be pissed at Hogan because he sort of ruined his career. But at the same time, Hogan's going to be apologetic. But, Sting is the one reason that they're in this place. And then I think that they're just going to build to a place where, there's TNA and Hulk Hogan. There's this sort of grayish team of guys that are like AJ Styles, Sting. I think that much like with WrestleMania, when you had the Shield match going up against Big Show, Randy Orton, and Sheamus, everybody was looking for somebody on that Team WWE team to be the guy who turned on everybody and just sort of, didn't want to work as a group. I think Jeff Hardy is the guy that's sort of going to work into that as well. I think they're going to be sort of these grayish guys that are in the middle. They don't want to be good guys, but they're not full-fledged heels. But they don't want to play nice with anybody, you know what I'm saying? They're sort of like, the system is working against them, and nobody wants to, work this out and become a team. I think that maybe even, maybe once you get to Bound for Glory, it would be awesome to see AJ win the title. But even if you don't have AJ win the title, and then you maybe work to like something like a Lethal Lockdown match where these guys have to work together as a team, then I think it would be pretty sweet. But I mean, that's a whole lot of stuff that has to work together. But in the end, I'm picking Bully Ray to win this match. Then you have the grudge match, AJ Styles against Kurt Angle. Kurt and AJ, every time they've matched up, besides for the one time when AJ clocked him with the hammer, I think. Kurt's really manhandled this guy. Like, they came face to face for the first time and they were fighting on the stage, and Kurt had him on the ground and he's kicking the shit out of him, which really surprised me. They're making AJ out to be the savior of the company, but yet he's getting his ass handed to him by Kurt Angle. There's no way in the world that you can have AJ as the favorite to go on to Bound for Glory and be the guy that that helps out TNA and wins the title back, and have him not win this match. This is going to be an awesome must-have match. They were running these. Wasn't it AJ and Kurt were a tag team? It was a few months ago, and they were kept on doing these triple threat tag matches, and then I know Kurt was in there. I think AJ was in there also, but that stuff was fucking awesome. And anytime you put these two guys together, there's a few guys that you can rotate around in TNA, and anytime you patch them up, no matter who it is, it's gonna be fucking awesome. And these are those guys right there. This is going to be easily the match that you want to see. I bet people are even buying this pay-per-view just to see this one match. Then you go on to this four-way elimination tag match for the TNA World Tag Team Championships. You got Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez going up against Bad Influence, Christopher Daniels, and Kazarian. I'm not picking them to win, but I do want these guys to win just so they can go back to their former name, which is the World Tag Team Champions of the World. Awesome stuff. Then you have Austin Aries and Bobby Roode. I guess they've never gotten a tag team name. Then you got James Storm and Gunnar. Gunnar making his return. He was in the he wasn't a member of Fortune. He was a member of Immortal, sort of like a bodyguard role, sort of laughable, but you could tell that there was somebody that they wanted to make believable. I really like Gunnar. I'm not sure that he's there yet, but they are pushing him pretty hard right now, and I just don't want this to turn into something like Crimson. So I'm not afraid to make him lose this match at the same point. Chavo Guerrero and Hernandez, honestly, in my opinion, they aren't what I think they want them to be. I think they want a whole bunch of people focused on them like they're a real team. But I think everybody who's watching this stuff likes the other guys. They like Austin Aries. They like Bobby Roode. How long are you really going to be able to keep those guys together, though? They got sort of put together. They got really over as a tag team, but they were only there because there's no main event spot for them. That's easy to say. Bad Influence, they're guys who could, snake the title away. But honestly, I think Chavo and Hernandez are going to be two guys that Bound for Glory is really going to be featured around. You got, San Diego, which really, really loves, to have, these Mexican wrestlers, and I think they're really going to be pushed to the moon. I was talking about this with freaking EI88. We were wondering who they were going to be sending there for, the promotional stuff to make Bound for Glory seem like a big deal. They're going to be hitting the radio shows, the TV shows, and we really thought that Chavo Guerrero was going to be the one guy that they were going to be pushing out there to be the guy to make people want to come. So that's one reason why I think they're really going to keep the titles on those guys. Devon versus Joseph Park for the TNA Championship. The TNA Television Championship, I apologize. But I don't think there's anybody in the world who knows that this belt is not a joke. Devon had this title, and they rolled out the whole thing where there was going to be fight night, and on every Impact, the TV title was going to be defended. And at that time, Devon was the champion, and he was a fighting champion until the day that his contract ran out. He got released, and that's what led to him joining Ace and Eights and turning on Bully Ray and really kickstarting this whole thing off as Devon being the real surprise guy and everybody who was on board for Ace and Eights really just jumping off and falling off. Devon needs to lose his title because I don't know if they want to make this title relevant, but it's not relevant right now. He wears the title on the back of his neck like a big linebacker in the NFL would wear, like his big, tall shoulder pads back in the 80s. A lot of the guys on the Chicago Bears back in the day used to wear those. A few guys still wear them today. They look pretty badass, but there's not many guys that really do it. But he wears the title up there like that when he's riding his bike around, and honestly, it just bugs the shit out of me that he has it. I think that's one reason why they keep it on him, is because, like, he never defends this title. Why does he have it? Then when we finally have a match against Joseph Park, it would make a ton of sense for them to put this title on Joseph Park. How he's finally made it. But at the same point, they keep teasing us with Abyss. They had him show up during this opening match on I almost called it Nitro, on Impact this week, and everybody stopped to see if it was Abyss. Joseph Park's marking out like he's going to see his brother, all waving for him to come down. That was finally when Sting stuck up from behind and got the win. But I don't know. I'm going to pick Devon in this match. Honestly, I'm over Joseph Park. I really want us to see Abyss. I know he is the sort of the building block to get us to that, but I just don't want to see the title on this guy. From then we go on to the most boring match of the night in my mind. I know it's going to be awesome, but just the build up to me blows. I hate the XDivision now. As all the matches have to be 3 ways. You don't really get to build one guy up. I have no idea how they figure out who's going to be in there. But so many times I've seen Kenny King come out to do commentary, things like that on Impact. Every time he comes out. First thing, I'm surprised he even works there. For some reason, it hasn't clicked in my mind that he's really a part of the roster. Second thing, I can't believe that I keep forgetting he's the XDivision champion if I can't believe that he doesn't work there. But, I don't know. Best story in the world would be Chris Sabin to win this title. He's been out over 2 years, hurt the one leg, came back, he hurt the next leg, and he's been out, finally getting to this point. In my mind, the perfect storybook ending is him winning this title. So TNA, they're not going to have him win it. They're going to have him wait another month. It'd be awesome if they could ditch all these 3 ways and just put Kenny King versus Chris Sabin one-on-one in there. I have no idea who Suicide is, but I think they're not going to put the title on him at all. So Kenny King to keep the belt, Chris Sabin to win it next month at Bound for Glory. That's my mind. It's next month. In October, because they don't do pay-per-views every month. Gail Kim versus Taryn Terrell. If you would ask me 3 weeks ago, I was on fire for this match. I don't know what the hell happened. Taryn Terrell hasn't been on TV in 3 weeks, except for she was in a mixed tag. It was Sabin and Terrell against Kenny King and Gail Kim. Nobody gave a shit about that match. And it almost got me to the point where I don't care about her. They were making Taryn Terrell out to be the biggest star of the company. In my mind, 3 weeks ago, I would have bet for her to win the title at Bound for Glory. Now, I don't know what they're doing with her anymore. I don't know if she had modeling duties or due to something else or out there, or just they didn't want to pay to have a whole bunch of divas show up knowing they were going to be using Velvet Sky and Mickie James at the show. I don't know if they're trying to limit to only having like 3 or 4 girls there at a time and they didn't want to have everybody there. I have no clue. But Taryn Terrell to win, even though I just bagged the shit out of her. I would like to bag the shit out of her too. Jay Bradley versus Sam Shaw. I'm not a fan of the gut check. I honestly can tell you right now, I don't know who either one of these guys are, so I'm not picking a winner. And then you have the 6-man tag match, Aces and Eights. A great team. Wes Briscoe, Garrett Bischoff, Mr. Anderson. If you can pick 3 other guys that are in TNA that seem more just misused and illegitimate, I don't know. I mean, they're going up against Magnus. Magnus is the fucking man and making him into a star. Samoa Joe, who was gone for a month, which seemed like 6 years, and it seemed like maybe he was like released and I just didn't know. And Jeff Hardy, the guy who quit and went home, said he was going to retire, and all of a sudden he's coming back out of the middle of nowhere to have this match at Slammiversary. I have no idea how this messes up. I'm going to pick Aces and Eights to win this match for the one reason I have Jeff Hardy sort of becoming like a lone wolf, and there's no way he can really do that if he wins this match. Maybe he'll walk out, maybe he'll do something, but I don't know. That's Slammiversary. I can honestly say that I'm going to be watching this match unless something weird and wacky happens. Not this match, this show. Yeah, so we'll go from there. Everybody have fun and enjoy Sunday. SmackDown's on now. I don't see anybody tweeting about it, but I don't get it for 2 more hours. So we'll see what happens there. Peace out, everybody. Have fun.